Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce my name. My name is Saskia Hairunisa as moderator who will get the presentation this time. Then we are from Group A. We'll present a PPT with the title Development Data Stage in the Speaking Process, Meaning Representation and Language Disorders. Okay, before I will start, let me introduce my members group. The first is Saskia Herunisa, it's me as moderator. Second, Macfira Sunaya, and the third, Zilva. Okay, next, my friends will be explain the background. For Zilva, time is yours.
Okay, I will explain about the background. Language is one of the most essential means of human communication, enabling individuals to express thought, ideas, and emotion effectively. Among the four language skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, speaking is considered one of the most complex and dynamic processes. It involves not only the ability to produce sounds and words, but also the coordination of cognitive, linguistic, and psychological mechanism that occur almost simultaneously. Language understanding the text in the speaking process is therefore crucial for both linguistic and language education, as it provides insight into how language is formulated and articulate in real-time communication. So that's the background. And we will move to the material. Okay, the first is about the stakes involved in the speaking process in humans. There are the 3 points. The first is conceptualization or pre-linguistic stage. This initial stage is where the speaker decides on the message they want to convey. It involves the speaker selecting the appropriate information from their memory and planning the overall structure of the discourse and determining the message. The speaker identifies the core idea or concept and selecting information. They retrieve the necessary ear semantic and factual details from their memory and deciding on grouping or focus. They determine which elements will be grouped together and what the communicative goals is. Example, to inform question or comment. The material also highlights the role of grouping distinctives, which are quiz that help organize the information, such as syntactic quiz, deciding on the sentence structure, and semantic quiz, focusing on the meaning of the words, and the last is prosodic quiz, planning the rhythm and stress of the speech. And the second point is formulation or linguistic stage. Once the message is conceptualized, the speaker converts the abstract truth into a linguistic representation. This step involves selecting the correct word, arranging them into a grammatical structure, and preparing the phonological form. So there are is 2 points. The first is lexicalization and grammatical encoding. This sub-stage involves finding the appropriate words or lexical items and fitting them into a grammatical frame. Lexical access, yeah, access and selection. The speaker accesses the mental lexicon, their internal dictionary. They select the word meaning or lemma level, and they select the words from lexeme or phonological level. The text suggests two competing views here. One is that grammatical and phonological encoding occur in a single step, and the other is that they are separate. And the second is phonological encoding. The final linguistic step is translating the morpheme sequence into a sequence of sound, phoneme selection and ordering. The correct phonemes are distinctive speech sound are selected and arranged in the correct order for each word. And syllabification. The phonemes are organized into syllables. And prosodic structure assignment. The stress, rhythm, and intonation patterns are finalized for the utterance. Okay, and the last point is articulation or motor state. This is the final psychical stage where the prepared phonological plan is executed by the speech organs. Uh, Okay, the first is phonetic plan. The phonological output is converted into a detailed phonetic plan, which is essentially a set of instructions for the muscle involved in speech or the articulations or the articulators, and the second is motor command generation. These instructions are sent from the brain of the muscle of the larynx, tongue, lips, jaw, and okay. And the last is acoustic output. The articulators move to produce the physical sounds or acoustic signal that constitute the spoken utterance. This includes coordinating the timing and movement of beating, voice production, and shaping of the vocal tract. Okay, that's all from me. The next will be explained by my friend.
Okay, next I will explain meaning represented in the mind during speech production. In this slide, I will explain 4 points. Okay, the first point is the prelinguistic stage, the conceptual message. Before any linguistic structure is formed, meaning is represented an abstract, nonverbal cognitive construct, the conceptual message. In this first point, there is three. The first is focus on concepts, not words. The material emphasizes that a meaning representation is pre-linguistic. It is not a sequence of English or any language words, but a structure, collection of concept, relationship, and the speaker communicative goal. For example, is intending to apologize in a presented as the goal of to repair a social bond, not the actual words and no words. Example, I'm sorry. Okay. The second is the role of knowledge. The speaker must decide what information to include in the message. This means ret- retrieving information from long-term memory about the topic, the listener, and the context. Example, for the text, if the speaker is asked about person named Kathy, the first retrieve all the relevant information about her from memory. Katie had a new project. Okay. The Third is deciding on grouping and focus. Part of the meaning representation involves determining the structure of the discourse. The speaker must select which concept will be the focus of the sentence and how different ideas will be grouped together. Okay, second point is the semantic network and lexical access. The conceptual message must then active the correct unit is the mental lexicon, the mind's internal dictionary, to begin formulation. This where abstract meaning is linked to potential word. In this second point, there is two types. The first is the semantic node, meaning is mentality represented by activated nodes in the semantic network. When the concept is active, it's partially activated by the abstract representation of the word from. The last is the lemma level semantic and synthetic information. The core mechanism lacking meaning to form is the lemma. A lemma is abstract mental entity that hold a word in the lemma level. There is 2 points here. The first is semantic information, meaning the specific definition of concept it refers to, and the second, the syntactic information, grammar. Its grammatical properties such as being a noun, a transitive verb, and adjective. Uh, Next is meaning to lemma transition. When a speaker decides on concept, the act of running the corresponding concept node activate the run lemma. This lemma carries the meaning, moving fast on a feed and the grammatical information. It is intransitive verb or it is verb that can the subjects. Critically, at this stage, the sound of the words, its phonology has not been selected. The third point is evidence from error and processing models. The models of meaning representation described in the material is strongly supported by psycholinguistic phenomena like speech error. In 3 points, there is two explanation. The first is semantic error. Semantic errors like saying he was terribly scared about the mouse instead of was terribly scared about the rat demonstrate the meaning is received and processed at a level separated from the sound. These are errors where the conceptual information a small rodent is correct but the wrong lemma rat versus mouse was selected. Second is syntactic running. The lemma as the representation of meaning and grammar allows the speaker to construct the grammatical framework of the sentence before the sounds are, are retrieved. The meaning of verb we give which needs a giver, a give and receiver determines the syntactic structure even if the sounds of the words are momentarily delayed or substituted. And the last point is mental models for meaning comprehension. While the above discussed prediction, the material also introduced the idea of the mental models, which are crucial for both how meaning is understood and by intention how the speaker verifies the coherence of their own intended meaning. In point 4, there is two types. There is representation of reality. Mental models are non-linguistic. Mental representation of the situation, event, or object being discussed. They are like a dynamic simulation of reality, but from the text or utterance. The last is coherence check. In speech production, the conceptualizer like use this mechanism to check if this message it is forming is coherent and accurately represent the intended state of a phrase. For instance, if the conceptual message involves a group of people sitting, the mental model will represent the spatial arrangement. Okay, I think that's all my explanations. So we move to my friends. Makfira Sunaya, times is yours.
Okay, in this section, I will explain the types and causes of language disorders that affect the speaking process. The first one, aphasia, the disruption of formulation. Aphasia is a collective term of acquired language disorder resulting from brain damage, often due to stroke. The specific location of the damage dictates which part of the formulation process is compromised, leading to distinct patterns of speech impairment. Aphasia is mainly divided into two types, Burkitt's aphasia and Wernicke's aphasia, and both affect the formulation stage different ways. The first type is Burkitt's aphasia. This disorder, the main problem lies in grammatical encoding. Patients know what they want to say, but they struggle to construct sentences using proper grammar. The second type is Wernicke's aphasia. In contrast to Burkitt's, speech in this condition is fluent, long, and grammatically structured, but the meaning is often unclear or empty. The difficulty appears in the semantic or lexical access stage, where the patient struggles to select appropriate words. And the second one, dysarthria, disruption of articulation. Dysarthria represents a clear case where the linguistic plan is formed correctly, but the final physical execution of the plan is faulty. Unlike aphasia, dysarthria is not a linguistic problem, but a motor speech problem. The speaker may have correct ideas, choose appropriate words, and form grammatically correct sentences. However, the articulation stage is disrupted because the speech cannot function properly. The match to the motor control pathways causes difficulty in controlling the movement of the tongue, lips, and lips. As a result, speech becomes slow, blurred, weak, or irregular. The grammatical structure and vocabulary remain correct, but the acoustic output is unclear and difficult to understand. Next, please. And the last one, conclusion. Based on the discussion of the three questions, it can be concluded that the speaking process in humans is a highly complex activity that involves several interrelated cognitive and linguistic stages. This process consists of four main stages: conceptualization, formulation, articulation, and self-monitoring, sequentially and collaboratively to transform abstract ideas into structured and meaningful speech. Each stage plays a crucial role in ensuring that the intended message is accurately planned, organized, articulated, and evaluated throughout the communication process. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, that was the presentation from Group A. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Let's wait.
Enggak.